thank you for my food, Nomura. That's just what I needed. A micro slice. Right, pack it up, boys. That's it, we're good for the air. We got screenshots, and we got one Nomura line just mentioning Kingdom Hearts 4. We're good. We've been fed well. Some might call us gluttonous. I'm struggling to hold all of this information. My back hurts. Damn, this promotional cycle's got hands. If you guys have seen the short that I got out on the channel, then you'll pretty much know what's going on. But for those who didn't, I want a little bit more of a deep dive on the subject. Here we go. So Square Enix recently hosted a Final Fantasy VII Ever Crisis 2nd anniversary stream, and Tetsuya Nomura was in attendance for the very final portion of the stream. A lot of people were tuning into the stream as Toriyama in the past had mentioned that they might be able to provide some Final Fantasy VII Remake Part 3 news during the 2nd anniversary of Ever Crisis. So naturally, a lot of people were tuning in hopes that there'd be maybe something Part 3 related, like the title reveal or a very small teaser. That didn't happen, but Nomura did provide a very small update on both Final Fantasy VII Remake Part 3 along with Kingdom Hearts 4. Now thanks to Audrey over on Twitter who has provided a more accurate translation of the information here, Nomura said regarding Final Fantasy VII Remake Part 3, you see, Toriyama supposedly said that we will have news around the time of the 2nd anniversary of Ever Crisis. We are making great progress on the game and I can't say anything else. We have already decided when we will make the announcement as well, and we will stick to that time schedule, so don't worry, please wait for it. On that same note, I'm seeing a lot of comments asking about Kingdom Hearts 4. We are making great strides and going according to schedule, so please wait for more information on that. So there you have it, folks. Kingdom Hearts 4 is a very real video game. It does, in fact, exist. Not really too sure what the Kingdom Hearts 4 schedule is. If by mentioning that they are going according to schedule, and that schedule means that we'll all collectively be in a retirement home by the time the game comes out, then yes, I would say that they probably are on schedule. I'm joking. Maybe. Also, please wait for more information on that. Bro, it's almost 3.5 years. Almost 3.5 years! I gotta chill. We got screenshots like a few months back in May, right? We got screenshots a few months back in May. Look, it's really nice of Tetsuya Nomura to provide a small update on both of these projects, and no doubt he is up to his shoulders right now in regards to the workload towards both. And I have recently seen a lot of people saying that once Tetsuya Nomura wraps up his work on Final Fantasy VII Remake Part 3 and that game is out, he'll then direct all his focus on Kingdom Hearts 4. No, we are not going to live in a timeline where Remake Part 3 releases before Kingdom Hearts 4. That is absurd. I think a lot of people also don't understand too that there are two entirely separate development teams that develop the Kingdom Hearts games and the Final Fantasy titles. Progress is always being made on both projects simultaneously. Now, Nomura would certainly be dividing his time between both games, but considering his role that he plays in the development process of Kingdom Hearts, it is certainly more important than the role he plays for Final Fantasy VII Remake. It is pretty crazy to see that Nomura mentioned that Square Enix do know exactly when the announcement of Remake Part 3 will come, so likely that will be the title reveal, along with maybe a very small sort of trailer to go along with it. They know when that's happening. And the fact they know this on top of a public mention of it likely indicates that it's not that far away. And we have been thinking that 2025 might actually provide the very first Part 3 teaser, which is a crazy thought just considering that Rebirth came out last year. And then we know that by the end of this year, Part 3 will have only been in development for about 2 years. We know that Square Enix are aiming to get Part 3 out by 2027, which might seem incredibly quick, but the development efficiency of the team responsible for Final Fantasy VII Remake are just insane. They're on a completely different level. The fact that they managed to get Rebirth out just under 4 years after the initial release of Remake is insane work. What people have to keep in mind though is when looking at the development of 7 Remake versus a Kingdom Hearts title, these are two entirely different beasts. The 7 Remake games has a heavy use on reuse of assets, frameworks, and a lot of other things that were already developed for that previous Final Fantasy VII title. Remake Part 3 will be no different. It will use a lot of the stuff that was already developed for Rebirth. This, of course, in return, speeds up that development process tenfold compared to looking at something like Kingdom Hearts 4, which no doubt would use some of the frameworks and systems that were already developed for Kingdom Hearts 3, but just keeping in mind that Kingdom Hearts games takes us to very unique environments, considering that they consist of various different Disney worlds. All of these assets are 100% unique and will need to be created from scratch again. And then we have Disney as a company who do quality checks to ensure that what Square Enix is creating is up to their standards and matches specific guidelines. There are a ton of things here that makes the development cycle of a Kingdom Hearts game much more complex compared to any of Square Enix's other titles. However, I do see this argument being used in relation to Remake Part 3 releasing first before Kingdom Hearts 4. And if that were to happen, like I've said in the past, I genuinely think that it is insanely bad mismanagement of the Kingdom Hearts development team. While keeping in mind the benefits that FF7 has over Kingdom Hearts 4 has been in development since early 2020. It will be 6 years next year. There is no one singular reason that would justify 7 Remake Part 3 releasing before Kingdom Hearts 4. I think it is very possible that perhaps sometime this year, whether it be at a State of Play or the Game Awards, we do end up getting a Remake Part 3 teaser. I think they'll probably want to announce the title and push just a little bit of promotion out there to get it known into the wider audience. Once that is out, I think Square Enix's direction will be on Kingdom Hearts 4. It would be pretty insane that, like, let's say the Game Awards comes around this year, and not only do Square Enix step forward to give a very small teaser on Final Fantasy VII Remake Part 3, but also provide a Kingdom Hearts 4 second trailer. As I've mentioned, as the months go by with nothing more said on KH4, my hope towards the game releasing in 2026 obviously dwindles, and then I start looking at 2027, but I still feel like there is a chance at this stage, depending on what happens towards the end of this year, that KH4 could release next year. As we've seen with two of the more recent big titles from Square, looking at Rebirth and Final Fantasy XVI, it seems that Square Enix don't really want to start promoting their games and beginning that marketing phase until they're within about a year to a year and a half out of release. I don't think we're really ever going to see the promotional cycle that we got with Kingdom Hearts 3 ever again. And obviously that's very different for us. We were used to receiving a trailer every year to a year and a half from 2013 leading up to 2019. Whereas now with Kingdom Hearts 4, I think that they just want to completely remain silent. They don't want to say much or show much until they know they're about a year to a year and a half out of release. This of course would mean though that we're going to get substantially more content within that time frame leading up to release. So personally, that's something I'm really looking forward to. So long as Square Enix kind of chill with what they show within the trailers that they plan for Kingdom Hearts 4, because as we know, there was a bit of an issue there with Kingdom Hearts 3 where Square Enix just simply showed off way too much. So yeah, let's not repeat that same issue again. Good to know that they are making big strides with Kingdom Hearts 4 and that it is currently on schedule. Nomura could be just talking out of his ass to shut people up for the time being, but yeah, I sort of trust the man. However, I think that the takeaway from Nomura's mention of both games here is there is a good chance that we might end up seeing either one of them, hopefully before the year's end. However guys, let me know your thoughts and opinions in the comment section down below. Thank you so much for tuning into today's video. Be sure to slippity slap that like button and subscribe if you haven't already. A big thanks to my wonderful patrons and YouTube members. Thank you guys so much for the ongoing support. I hope you're all having a fantastic day and we'll chat again real soon.